All right, let's do another walking vlog here. Been a few days. So, since last video, where I've been focused on what's going on in the Persian Gulf, gas prices have gone up a little bit, as expected. Nothing overly concerning. This is what's going to happen. It's funny, I started getting the text messages when things started to spark up. Fill up your gas tank now. Well, first off, I keep my gas tank at least half full. And what is it really going to do to panic buy gasoline? So you save $15, or not even that, probably save less than $5 from your next fill up. Yay. I never got into that hype. That panic buying is just for the birds. It is what it is. Plan accordingly. You should have a savings. Tangent on myself. Sorry about that, but not too concerning for me now. Other supplies and disruptions on the supply chain seem to be all right. Nothing too concerning on that. Big thing that got my attention, and it's mainly because I'm a naval history nerd, is that the US sunk a Iranian frigate with a torpedo from a submarine. The last time a warship was sunk by a submarine, I think, was in the 1980s at the Falkland Islands. Fun time in the South Atlantic with United Kingdom and Argentina. And the last time the United States sunk a ship with a torpedo from a submarine was in World War II. So, a long time. I'll link the video down below that I just watched before I went on my walk here from Sandbox, showing the footage and everything. And wow, that was impressive. U.S. and NATO called it a frigate. The Iranians are calling it one of their destroyers. Modern warships, there's no clear definition between corvettes and frigates and destroyers and cruisers and everything. I say it's their boat. Let's call it a destroyer. The U.S. sunk a Iranian destroyer, so that's pretty wild. Far as the leadership vacuum in Iran, it looks like, from what I heard, that the last Ayatollah's son is the de facto quasi-leading candidate to be the next Ayatollah? I'm having trouble pronouncing that word right now, but you know what I'm saying. I think officially it's still a consul leading them, but we'll see where that goes. Trump, bless his heart, said today that he needs to be the one who's going to be picking Iran's next leader. I get where he's coming from, and it does make sense. You make a big gamble on toppling a regime. You want somebody peaceful and friendly to their people and other nations to be in charge. You don't want to have the power vacuum that we went through with Iraq when we got rid of Hussein, and it turned into turned into a civil war. So it does make sense that you want to establish a government that's going to be friendly to the United States and not fund terrorism and all that kind of stuff. And that is what the world wants. But you can't say you want to free the people and restore democracy without the people democratically putting in a new leadership themselves, right? It's got to be up to the Iranians. That's the only way only way we'll have a chance at long-term peace. let's face it, we're talking about the Middle East. Been fighting there since recorded history, and it's a good time people were fighting there before they started writing shit down. I personally believe that a lot of the problems in the Middle East are because of, after 2 world wars, imaginary lines were drawn across the map in a conference room in Geneva or Paris or whatever, and by the stroke of a few pens, congratulations, this is now a country. And the people in that area, like most people, are pretty tribal and like to stick to their own customs and not necessarily like the customs of other people. Also, a bunch of those different tribes are now supposedly one country. That didn't work too well with Yugoslavia. That didn't work too well with Czechoslovakia. So I think the best thing to do is start having good conversations with people who look like they're going to be the leaders and help encourage them. I don't know. I'm not a peace broker, but I think having, bless your heart, Trump, I support you as my president, but to let somebody who admittedly is a sore loser and has an out-of-control ego try to form a new government of a foreign country that for the last 40-some years has been chanting death to America, does not sound like a good idea. I probably talk too much about that. It's Trump. He loves to say stuff like that just to get people riled up. I can see how that could be wildly entertaining for him. I'm convinced that before a lot of interviews, he just laughs and goes to the reporter, start rolling, watch this. So take it as that. That is my big concern looking forward, is what kind of government are going to come out of Iran. Now, what I referenced before with Iraq, it was pretty messy for a few years, but they haven't been in the paper for a long time since we left them. So maybe if we just do what we're doing now and leave in the right momentum and just let things be and not get caught in the middle of a civil war, maybe that's the best route. I don't know. But that's what's on my mind right now. Trying to stay calm. As far as the sleeper cell stuff, there's the one guy down in Texas that started to shoot up a bar. It seems like he's just a lone wolf, but you never know. There could be more stuff like that. Again, I'm not too worried about, the Tom Clancy novel type sleeper cells. I'm more concerned about just self-radicalized Americans who have allowed themselves to be overconsumed with politics and just think orange man bad, and they're going to do something stupid because of that. They're overdosing on anxiety pills and all that kind of shit. So those are the people I'm worried about. I'm worried about somebody that'll just take a look at me and go, middle-aged white dude who's bald and has a big beard and usually dressed in earth tones. He must be a evil mega guy. I'm going to sucker punch him. That's the shit that I'm worried about. Just stupid people doing stupid things because they've listened to the stupid news too much. Not sure if I can put stupid in there anymore, but you get the point. Right now I'm cautiously optimistic that things are going to work out all right. I'm kind of glad. I'm not kind of glad. Relieved that all this tension that's been building up for probably decades, as far as I'm concerned, if I think back, is coming through, and we're tearing the Band-Aid off of what we've been avoiding for, or ignoring for probably generations. I'll leave on this note because I'm getting, I'm over 10 minutes, so I'll leave on this note. Yesterday or the day before, I was listening to one of my favorite local podcasts, and one of the hosts said that he believes this war officially started back on the October attacks on Israel. And if you think about it, it really did. All right? The Iran-backed Hamas and then Hezbollah, or vice versa, did the October 3rd or October 17th? I can't remember the dates anymore. But anyways, launched those massive attacks unprovoked against Israel. Israel said they had enough, and they've been kicking butt over there. Again, decades of pent-up frustrations and dealing with that. They finally said they had enough. I think really this is just a continuation of it. The source of all those problems is Iran. Iran's not making friends with the rest of the Middle East countries by lobbing missiles and drones at their oil refinery sites and ships and everything. They may be able to turn the other way if they're just attacking the US bases, but attacking the other countries directly, I'm surprised more hasn't happened. A lot of restraint by those countries, in my opinion. So, all right. 2 additional minutes of rambling. Be safe out there.